Alrighty. The last of the batch is done. It's probably January. I mean, not January. It's January now. It's probably, if I do the one book a month, it's going to be July or so by the time you watch this. And I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So we got Sacred Cow coming up, and then I have these other books coming up here at some point. Probably interspersed. Who knows? You may actually see those book reviews before you see this one. So we have way too many books. Oh my god! Wait a minute. Almost a minute in. We haven't even mentioned the book yet. So the book for today is Decisive: How to Make Better Choices in Life and Work by Chip Heath and Dan Heath. Best-selling authors of Switch and Made to Stick. I haven't read. Always get made to stick with make it stick. It's very confusing. And also make time for some reason. Just they all kind of like fly together or whatever. Yeah, Decisive. Okay, so too long. Didn't watch Corey's terrible book reviews. It's pretty good. Pretty good. I wouldn't say mind blowing or anything, but I think it does get I think it does bring some ideas to the forefront that need to be considered. So I think it's a useful book. Pretty good, I guess. Let's. If you want to learn more, you do want to continue. That's the too long didn't watch. Stick around. Talk more about the book. All right. So this is talking about Switch and Made to Stick. No blurb about the book. Yeah, there's actually no. They didn't get a blurb from this book. They got a blurb from the previous books. Okay, all right. Inside cover it says Indecisive: Chip and Dan Heath, the best-selling authors of Switch and Magic Stick, tackle one of the most critical topics in our work and personal lives: how to make better decisions. Research in psychology has revealed that our decisions are disrupted by an array of biases, irrationalities. We're overconfident. We seek out information that supports us and don't play information that doesn't. We get distracted by short-term emotions when it comes to making choices. It seems our brains are flawed instruments. Unfortunately, merely being aware of these shortcomings doesn't fix the problem any more than knowing that we are nearsighted helps us to see. The real question is, how can we do better? Indecisive, the Heaths, based on an exhaustive study of decision-making literature, introduce a four-step process. Gotta have steps in the process. Designed to counteract these biases. Written in an engaging, compulsively readable style, Decisive takes readers on an unforgettable journey from a rock star's ingenious decision-making trick to a CEO's disastrous acquisition to a single question that can often resolve thorny personal decisions. Along the way, we learn the answers to critical questions like these. How can we stop the cycle of agonizing over our decisions? How can we make group decisions without disruptive politics? How can we ensure that we don't overlook precious opportunities to change our course? Decisive is Heath Brothers' most powerful and important book yet, offering fresh strategies and practical tools that enable us to make better choices, because the right decision at the right moment can make all the difference. Chip Heath is a professor of graduate study, a business school, graduate school of business at Harvard University, at Stanford University. He lives in Los Gatos, Gatos, I don't know, not Californian. Dan Heath is a senior fellow at Duke University Center for the Advancement of Social Entrepreneurship. He lives in Raleigh, North Carolina. The Heath brothers are authors of the national bestseller Switch and Made to Stick. Yep. It's pretty good. Where to start with this one? Brain's a little fried, guys. I know it's not following along. These are the book reviews today, along with a year review. We've been a little busy. My brain is a little fried remembering all of these books. I don't know why I'm talking like this. Okay, so this book. So there's another book that is a giant in this sort of vein of thinking. It's called Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. Comes up a lot. You probably heard of it. That book is very, I found difficult to get through because it was slow and trudging and plodding, at least to me. This book, at least I flew through, in part because I was on audiobook. So it was just 2 times speed, just flashed right through this book. I do remember several times getting some, notes and stuff that I had to write down and stuff like that. Because this book is just it just keys off several, I think, really good ideas that they're important to always kind of refresh your memory. So that if even if everything in the book you already know, I think it's really, this book is good at least to refresh your thoughts on it, because it's been like many of these ideas were like in the Thinking Fast and Slow, but it's been like a year since I read that book, and I know there's a couple of things like the pre-mortem that I really took away from that book, where you come up with, how can this look? You've been in this planning process for this project or whatever, and you're about to kick it off, and you make the final decision to kick it off, and I'm like, well, before you do that, before you commit to it, you have everybody on the team go, okay, well, how can this fail? How are we wrong? How have we been assuming that this is all going to go well? How is it all going to fall apart? And everybody goes around the table and talks about that and makes it explicit, instead of, because there's always that kind of the planning process. You just want to get done with the planning process at some point, whether or not you agree that it's going in a good direction or not. Eventually, you just want to be done with planning, right? And that kind of biases against that, and like makes everybody state out loud, okay, well, actually, no, 3 months is totally not enough time, for unrealistic time to get everything done that we need to get done for this project, or whatever is the criticism that you have. Anyway, it like I said, it has various little strategies in here. Like one of them is avoiding a narrow frame. Sometimes in decision making, you may get to a point where you think that you either have to do this or you have to do that. And that's not always the case. In fact, it's fairly rarely the case that you literally only have the choice between 2 options. A lot of times you're just not considering completely alternative options. You can go in a completely different direction. But if you had that either or frame, that really, you make a decision that you perhaps wouldn't take if you didn't step back and say, okay, well, actually we have this other option here that we would totally take if we weren't, thinking so narrowly focused on this either or question. Yeah. And it talks about strategies to help avoid the narrow frame, is to have several people working on the problem independently. So everybody's exploring their own options, and then you bring all of those options to the table after that exploration phase. And then another one is find somebody else who's already, I'm just literally reading the titles here from the chapters, but just trying to highlight what's in the book. But find somebody who's already solved the problem, instead of making assumptions about what what pitfalls lie ahead. If somebody's already had the problems that you have, already went through it and solved it and everything, just see what they did, you know. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? That's the kind of stuff that's in this book. Another one is reality test your assumptions. So like consider consider like a complete opposite of whatever it is that you're assuming to be true about the situation. Just complete just for demonstration or whatever example's sake. Just completely consider option. Make sure like that it makes sense in that concept. That it still makes that your decision makes sense in that context, right? Things were completely different. Would that decision still be correct? This one is called Ooch. Honestly, the Ooch, I don't know why. I can't remember why it's called Ooch. Basically, do a small test, make a prototype. Do a small little example, and see if it still is a viable option for your thing. Instead of like commit and whole hog, do a little test, right? Attain distance before deciding. Prepare to be wrong. Set of tripwires. Part of that, prepare to be wrong. You from a setting a tripwire. That would be like, say you're going into a casino. I always have a tripwire whenever I go to the casino. I'm not a big gambler, but I know that there's lots of people have trouble with gambling, and so I am cognizant. I don't think I'm special enough that I can avoid falling into the pitfall of being addicted to that type of thing, because it's the height of arrogance to think so. So whenever I go to a casino, if I'm going to play at the casino, I have a limit. Before I ever go in there, this is like I'm going to do $20. That's it, or whatever it is. This amount. After I lose that amount or I win that amount, I'm done. Either that or if I get tired, obviously I'll just leave. But if I lose $20, that was my $20. It's like I went out to the movies and it cost me $20. That's how I think of it. I don't think I got to get the money back. I don't think I got to win it back. But that was my entertainment, was losing the money. As bad as that sounds, but that's how I'll treat. That's a tripwire, right? Because you have some set objective criteria that once reached triggers a decision, and that's your decision making framework. Is like that's the thing that if things go wrong, this is the thing that makes you decide to back out or whatever it is you got to do. So yeah, I think I'm kind of rambling a little bit. My brain's getting a little fuzzy doing all of these reviews, but it's like I said, it's a pretty good book. The book itself, I didn't actually read it, but it's be fairly high quality book. The hardback, I always get hardbacks. I still get the trophies. I gotta have my trophies to put on the bookshelf, even if it was audiobook. Apparently I'm that type of person. It's, gonna pay for the book twice. Yeah, so that was Decisive: How to Make Better Choices in Life and Work. Chip Heath and Dan Heath, the best-selling author. So switch amazing. Oh my God, am I actually done with this? So yeah, so in case you missed, what is it? 14 minutes. I actually got through that one pretty quick. In case you missed it, we're probably going to be moving the book reviews to more like a book a month. So it's probably been like 6 months since when this was recorded. You're watching it now, so yeah, probably. We'll see. That is like maybe I do a book review a month, and then some random other video like every 2 weeks. So like this starter set that I reviewed for Dungeons and Dragons. It's not really, I don't think I'm going to do this as a book review consider it a book review, this will probably be one of the bonus videos that's every 2 weeks, every second 2 weeks or whatever. So book review and then random video, book review, random video, like every 2 weeks, with a book review every month. We do have a couple other ones coming up. Second Cow I'm listening to right now. And then I have a couple other books that are in the backlog. Technical books for nerds, because I'm a programmer. There's some coding books, and then 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson, which I will probably intersperse at some point. I'm not sure if I'm going to consider it a full book review, because I read these like a while back. And I'll probably do that some more, like The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy or something like that. I read it years and years and years ago. I might be buying some of my old favorite books just to have them on my shelves, and then I'll do a review when I have the book in hand. Anyway, that's a bit of the YouTube process for me going forward, at least as we see it right now. Not that any of you care. Anyway, yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys next time.